Yo, what is up everyone, Jay here, back again with another Fire Emblem Heroes reaction video to the Choose Your Legends banner that has finally been revealed to us, the highly anticipated Choose Your Legends, especially for me. If you guys remember, earlier this year when Choose Your Legends was happening, I was campaigning for Marth. I was imploring people to vote for him because I would not let him lose another Choose Your Legends, and we finally got him to win. Even though he didn't get first, he got second, and yeah, so it's finally here. We get to see what kind of weapon types and skills they have and their arts, and yeah, so the first unit they're going to show off is my boy Brave Marth, the unit I'm here for. Prince of Light. His art is amazing. Key to Senri drew him, but sadly he is another sword infantry unit, and I guess I'm just going to go for a little mini rant here. I really wish he wasn't another sword infantry unit. This is his fourth sword infantry version. And the ideal world, if you guys follow me on Twitter, is what I wanted him to be was a blue tome unit. Or if not a blue tome unit, just any kind of blue unit. Because blue is the only color that Marth does not have in Marth Emblem. If you guys watch my videos, I do Marth Emblem clears. And not only just for Marth Emblem, I just wanted more variety for Marth. I wanted to have a blue Marth version so we can cover all the colors. But sadly, he's another sword infantry unit. And I am a little bit bummed about that. But his art looks amazing. And he's based off Anri. If you guys don't know about Anri, he is the first wielder of Falchion, and he's ancestor to Marth. So, you know, Marth, because he's such an iconic character and he's been around for so long, there's so many different ways and so much source material they could have went with, and I'm just bummed that he had so many creative liberties and they just stuck with another sword onto him and another Falchion version. So yeah, I'm a little bit bummed about that, but his art looks amazing, like I said, and his kit is actually a lot better than I would have ever guessed. So here he is, my boy Marth, again with sword infantry, but his kit is crazy. So he has Genesis Falchion lighting up. That sword sprite looked really cool. So Genesis Falchion, of course, effective against dragon foes, and it gives him -1 cooldown, which is amazing because none of Marth's other pre-RFs had -1 cooldown. So this is a first. So at least he has that. I'm gonna be excited for that. And if unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, he gets +5 to every stat. Like a lot of modern units get, and then he also grants effects based on the total value of bonuses on the 3 allies with the highest bonus totals. So this is similar, I think, to, if I recall correctly, to like the Fallen Morgan's weapons, where if their bonuses are like, I think it was penalties, are a certain amount, then they get more effects. It's kind of like that. I'm not exactly sure what the thresholds are. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but for Marth here, if it is greater than or equal to 10, then he gets no follow-up. If it's greater than or equal to 25, then he gets +5 attack during combat, so he gets extra attack, and he gets healing, which is pretty nice. And if it's greater than or equal to 60, which is such a huge jump, 60 is kind of crazy. And if it's greater than or equal to 60, then he gets Vantage. So this is pretty stacked weapon. I mean, -1 cooldown, dragon effectiveness, +5 to everything, and then 3 different effects based on the buffs. Now the buffs are based on the allies. So he's gonna have to buff the allies, but if you guys are used to Marth at this point, I mean, Fire Emblem special, they buff his allies. You know, Marth's always about supporting his homies, so it goes into, you know, the next part, which is Shining Emblem, which is essentially just Fire Emblem 2. You know, something like this you can see on Legendary Marth remix if he gets one. But Shining Emblem 2, like I said, is just basically Fire Emblem 2. He gets +6 to himself for 1 turn, and then he gives allies within 2 spaces +6 attack, and if his special triggers, then he gives +6 again to unit and allies for 1 turn, and it doesn't matter, even if he dies, he can still give the boost. And the buff here, the crazy buff here, is that he gets boosted from 30. I think before it was 30% of his speed, now it's 35, which is pretty nice, so even more damage output. So like I said, Shining Emblem, just basically a better version of Fire Emblem 2. I mean, nothing too crazy, but it's definitely a step up. I'm just more impressed with Genesis Falchion because that's a really crazy effect. I mean, I don't know how easy it's going to be to get 60 visible buffs. I mean, it's going to be easy with, you know, emblem and stuff. It's just kind of annoying. It's kind of locked behind a condition, but it shouldn't be too hard to get. And his new A skill, Distant Pressure. This is not a PRF. This is inheritable, obviously. So this is basically a better version of DC, except it gives you a little bit of damage, kind of like a push skill. But see, the thing is, his weapon does give him 5 HP, so it kind of synergizes well, and you can run stuff like Mystic Boost to heal, obviously. So Unit can counterattack regardless of foe's range at the start of combat if unit's HP is greater than 25% and it gets speed +5 during combat. So just giving him even more speed. I already know Marth's going to be blazing fast. So distant pressure is pretty cool. I just kind of wish it didn't have the damage, you know, kind of push effect attached to it. But still, that's really cool. Distant pressure is going to be a nice option for a lot of people. And definitely will attract a lot of people. And Spurn, of course, damage reduction. I have this on my young Marth. And even Tempest. So, you know, I am disappointed that he is a sword unit again. I really wish they were more creative and they kind of... I just wish he was a blue unit. Like Starlight... Oh man, Starlight Tone Blue Marth would have been amazing. I would have been so hyped for that. But I'm still going to build him regardless. I'm still going to try and +10 him. And I'm going to love using him, of course. But I just wish we had more variety. And it just feels like sometimes that Marth, every time a sword infantry version comes out, it's just better than the previous one, you know what I mean? Because you can just look at this and you can basically sum up Marth as, you know, Brave Marth is just a better version of Legendary Marth in a sense. I guess the only downside is he doesn't have Binding Shield, which will get a remix eventually. So yeah, I just, you know, I'm a little bummed out, but I still thank you guys for, you know, voting for him. And like I said, I'm still going to build him. I'm still going to love him. I don't want to sound like I'm depressed or anything. I'm just glad he's not a healer. I would have been even more sad if he was a healer. Not that I have anything against healers. It's just I didn't want to wait 5 years of Choose Your Legends voting for him to just be a healer, you know? Because I don't really use healers that much, and they are good. There's obviously a lot of good ones, but I want my boy to have like max power and be an offensive unit because healers can't even run like damaging specials. They have a lot of restrictions. So here he is, currently attacking against this blue mage and getting Shining Emblem, which is really cool, getting some healing. And it's also really cool because I haven't gotten to the other units yet, but everybody here actually has a PRF skill. And that never happened with CYL before, I don't think, because only first place would get PRF skills. But now, even second place winners are getting PRFs. I guess they figured that, you know, because you can't really leave Marth without his Fire Emblem. But, you know, Fire Emblem now is needed a buff, so they gave him Shining Emblem, and they're doing the same thing with Eirika. She has a PRF skill, except it's not a special. It's a B skill. So here's Eirika. I like Eirika. I'm not like a super huge fan of her. I'm happy she won finally. And it completely slipped my mind that she can just dress up like her brother. I did not expect her to be the Lance unit. Like I mentioned, I really wish Marth was a Lance unit. But it's cool that she's like taking after her brother and becoming a Lance cavalry unit. Taking this Regent Leaf from him basically, and this is a really good weapon. Her kit is really good. So she has Binding Regent Leaf, accelerates so -1 cooldown, effect against cavalry and armored foes as usual. At start of combat gives so +5 to everything, and then reduces damage from the foe's first attack by 30%. And if unit initiates combat, she gets like half a no follow-up. So really, really good Regent Leaf weapon. It's basically better than Joe Ephraim's Regent Leaf, I'd say. She comes with Luna, of course. And this new A skill, Surge Sparrow. So this is pretty cool. So if unit initiates combat, grants attack speed +7 to unit, and if unit deals damage to foe using a special, restores HP to the unit's max HP, X equaling unit's max cooldown count. So this is, I haven't really got a close look at this, but this is kind of, it's basically like if you actually attack and you have a special ready, then you restore some HP, which is really cool. And it's actually like a reference to her Solar Brace, I believe, that she has on her legendary version. I mean, Solar Brace is kind of referenced here with Moonlight Bangle, her beast PRF skill. So this gives her Canto, which is really nice, and then it neutralizes her penalties, which is really, really good. And neutralizes penalties and stuff that gives her guard. So that's really cool. And deals damage equal to X percentage of foe's defense with special triggers. So it's like Solar Brace, you know, calculating with defense. I can't really explain it too in depth right now, but you know, it's just it's a pretty good skill. Canto built in, having penalty neutralization and guard stopping with some damage as well. So basically, you know, if her special triggers, Eirika is going to hit really, really hard, and she's going to be really, really good. So really cool kit and attack speed bonus. Of course, we've seen that still. So Eirika here is pretty good. She's actually, you know, just like Marth, a lot better than I thought. Kind of wish Marth had penalty neutralization, but as you can see here, hitting him with Regent Leaf, getting healing. So both of them have a bit of healing going on. Binding Regent Leaf, Eirika. Man, I really kind of feel dumb that I didn't think that Eirika would take after her brother as inspiration. But you think, I don't know. I guess because, you know, Brave Ephraim already happened and he took inspiration from his dad. So I guess it makes sense Eirika would have it. And the third unit is Marianne. And she looks amazing. I like her art a lot here. She's in her dancer version as a colorless infantry mage dancer. So very, very cool. The first CYL winner that's a dancer, I believe. So honestly, I think she might be the most picked for unit for at least for people who, you know, play free-to-play guides because, or go, you know, follow free-to-play guides because her dancing, you know, being a dancer just gives you so much utility and value, and also the fact that she comes with a PRF dance, which we'll get to, but she comes with Phantasm Tome, grants a flat speed +3 at the start of combat. If the foe's HP is greater than or equal to 50, she gives -6 speed and res, and then neutralizes their buffs, so stops any visible buffs. And then also, if she initiates combat, she reduces damage from the foe's first attack by 70%. And 70% is insane. That is almost the likes of, you know, Brave Ike and Fallen Star legendary claw damage reduction levels. So 70% is insane, and it's going to let her live a lot of hits. And it also synergizes well with her PRF dance skill, Requiem Dance. If she initiates combat, after combat, she grants another action to the ally of the highest HP within 2 spaces of her that's already acted. So you're going to have to make sure that when you're using her that someone's within 2 spaces of her while she attacks, so they can get the dance. And this effect is actually pretty similar to a lot of duo skills that we've seen on, at least I think so, if I recall correctly. It's similar to Halloween Tiki. I think Summer Shida had it recently, where they can just have another action. So it's basically a dual skill built into this. You know, obviously you're going to have to trigger it, but it is a 3-turn special. And she doesn't have -1 cooldown, but she does have Times Pulse to bring it down to 2, and obviously you can buff her up with infantry pulses and stuff, and a lot of support units give the cooldown charges. So Requiem Dance is definitely really good, and like I said, I have a feeling she's going to be the most popular free pick, just the fact that she's a dancer and also giving another dance as well. So yeah, so having like 2 dances is pretty crazy. Unless, does she not have a dance skill? I'm not even sure. Is she? I mean, she basically is a dancer with this. I'm not sure if she actually. No, I don't think she actually has the dance like skill, like assist skill. Oh, so I could be wrong. I'm actually stupid. But either way, having this Requiem Dance is really, really cool. So she basically is the first CYL dancer. She comes with attack speed unity. Whoops, did I skip that? She comes with attack speed unity. The first unit with it, I would have never guessed Marianne would be the first unit with it, and then she has no follow-up as well. So yeah, I like her art a lot. I mean, I like Marianne a lot. Golden Deer is my first house in 3 houses, so happy for Marianne fans, and it's cool that she's pretty damn unique because we don't have any colorless tomes, and she's like the 5th or 6th one, so that's really cool. There she is dancing Lysithia with her Requiem Dance. Yeah, she doesn't come with a dance assist, yeah, but you know, it's basically a dance. So unless she does learn, I don't know, we'll have to see, I guess. And the last unit, the unit that I am not excited for, and the unit I don't really want to talk about, if you guys were seeing my Marth when I was campaigning for Marth, but it is Gatekeeper here with nothing to report. But he definitely has something to report because he's a pretty insane unit. His kit is really good, and his art is actually pretty good. I like his art, actually. It's the same artist who did Ogma, actually, so happy to see that Ogma's artist is back doing Gatekeeper. And I think it's a really fitting art style for him. I mean, look at this detailed art. And he's a green mage. Green infantry mage, the class type that I wanted Marth to be, sadly. And, you know, a lot of people were expecting Gatekeeper, you know, oh, he's going to be a lance. What else would he be? Because, you know, he's a Gatekeeper. He's going to have a melee weapon of some kind. But they ended up making him a mage, which is really interesting. I just wish they took these creative liberties and gave it to Marth. But Gatekeeper here as a green mage, which is really interesting. And his kit is, like I said, very good. So he comes with Charging Horn. This weapon is pretty insane, pretty cracked because it's an insane support weapon. So gives them a flat defense +3, and then he gives attack and speed +5 to allies within 3 rows, 3 columns. It's not a joint drive, it's not within 3 space, it's just 3 rows and 3 columns, so that's a pretty big range. And then he also gives it to himself. He also gives effects to himself within the same range, 3 rows and 3 columns. If he has greater than or equal to 1 ally, then he gives an attack and res debuff on the foe. And then also, if he has greater than or equal to 3 allies, the foe can't make a follow-up attack, which is crazy. And also, if it's a structure that's close to him, then that also counts as an ally. So that's actually pretty hilarious. So if there's like a piece of furniture in Aether Raids, obviously this is an Aether Raids kind of thing, so If there's a structure that's destroyable, you know, then it counts as an ally, and that helps with this effect. And they can't make follow-ups. Excuse me. So Charging Horn is very, very good support weapon. Definitely one of the best support weapons in the game. Just giving people joint drive attack, but with a better range, essentially, with 3 rows and 3 columns. And having an ally, a structure as an ally, is really, really cool. Comes to Harsh Command Plus, Close Reversal, which is essentially just a better close counter, I'd say. It doesn't give attack like Close Foil, but it's pretty, you know, you can counterattack against dragons unlike Close Foil. So if the foe initiates combat, grants defense +5 to unit, and unit can counterattack regardless of foe's range. It's funny though, because Brave Hector, I'd say, still has the better counter skill, Ostian counter. But Close Reversal here, I'm not sure. I don't think this is inheritable. Is it inheritable? I think it might be. I think it is. Don't quote me on that, because it doesn't have a number after, obviously, but I'm pretty sure Marth's Distant Pressure is inheritable. But for sure I know that Detailed Report here is not inheritable, because this is his PRFB skill, and this is just makes him even more insane as a unit. So if the foe's range equals to 1, they cannot move spaces adjacent to the unit. Obviously it doesn't affect units with pass, but most of the time people aren't going to be running pass, because pass is a B skill, and B skills are very competitive. And then foes with range that equals 2, they cannot move to spaces within 2 spaces of the unit. And then foes cannot warp into spaces within 4 spaces of unit. So a lot of people were expecting Gatekeeper to have some kind of obstruct effect, and he basically has it here. So you can't Wings of Mercy towards him. You can't like escape route, so foes can't do that to him. So that's really insane, and the fact that he can stop it is just, I mean, his whole kit is just tailored to like Aether Raid's defense. Like I said, structures is Aether Raid's oriented. Then you got Detailed Report, and you know, Wings of Mercy is a very common strategy in Aether Raid. So yeah, this Detailed Report skill is very, very good, and he's a very unique unit in that regard. So he can give a lot of support and great utility with just this. And it's funny because I'm thinking, because it doesn't affect pass, you might see pass more to stop Gatekeeper, because like I'm guessing he's going to be a very popular meta influential unit, because of the abilities and support he can give. Now he is a green mage, and I feel like green isn't the best color in Aether Raids right now, because there's so many red threats. You know, there's units like Legendary Sigurd, who's very prominent right now, and then you have Dual Lift, so he's going to struggle against red units for sure. And you know, if you take him out, then his obstruct stuff and his support stuff isn't there. And but either way, still a very good and unique unit. So there's Gatekeeper, guys. There he is charging. These animations are very unique as well, just bringing everyone through the gate. So that is pretty much every unit on the banner. We're gonna get the story maps, of course. And the GHB unit, I don't think it's shown in this video, but they did announce it. It's actually Peleus from the Tellius game. So Peleus is finally in FEH. I'm actually pretty excited, because Peleus is a pretty popular character. A lot of fans wanted him in the game, and there's this one fan that I follow, at Peleus Tellius. He's been saving orbs and grails for Tellius for like literally since day 1, since this game's been out. And finally Peleus is coming to the game, so I'm very happy for that guy. Shout out to that guy. He's probably not watching this, but shout out to you regardless, and all the Peleus fans. So that's really, really cool that he's finally in the game. Going to be a mage, and I saw his art already. It's really nice. So Peleus in the game is really cool. So that's our GHB, and it's funny because the past 3 years for the free unit that's been attached to CYL, they've always been a Tellius unit. CYL3 we had Sigrun, who was a Tempest Trial unit. Last year CYL4 we had George, the merchant from Tellius, and then this year we have Peleus. So for whatever reason, it's always a Tellius character. Not that I'm complaining. I like Tellius a lot. It's just I find it interesting. So yeah, that's pretty much the overview of their skills for everybody here in CYL5 of the Keepers of Faith, and we can actually look at their stats. To my friend Phoenix Master. Yeah, my Twitter's blowing up right now with notifications because I've been tweeting about it. But here's all the stats for CYL5 units. Yeah, as you can see right here. Marth and Eirika are buffed +6, so if you want to see his base stats, you're going to have to -6. But Like, look at everybody's skills. Like, everybody's skills here is super stacked. This is definitely the most interesting CYL's ever been in terms of fodder and inheritance, I think. Really, really cool skills. And, yeah, I'm excited. Even though I'm sad Marth's to introduce Sword again, I'm still going to build him. I'm still going to enjoy using him. So I love my boy. And he's repping Anri. Like, how can I really be mad about that, you know? It's Anri. Anri's amazing. So, and also a cool fact right here. This is the BST increase, Gen 6 of FEH. So we're finally starting Gen 6 BST power creep. Eirika has 173 BST, highest for her cap. Marth has 182 BST, highest for infantry, tied with a legendary corn. I kind of wish he had one more just to have the most, but whatever. That's still really, really good. 182 BST is insane for an infantry unit. Marianne and GK have 171 BST, highest for magical range infantry. So very cool. Everybody here is stacked to hell, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited, even though, like I said, I am bummed about Marth's class type. Everything else about him is amazing. Literally everything else about him is amazing. Shining Emblem, Genesis Falchion, Distant Pressure is amazing. That's going to be so fun to use. And it's going to be fun. It's just, now that well, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but when I do hopefully plus 10 him, it's going to be weird because I'm going to have to take someone out of the Marth emblem, because if you guys see my Marth emblem videos, I've always used the 4 Young Marth, Regular Marth, Winter Marth, and Groom Marth. But if I want to use Brave Marth here, I'm going to have to take someone out, because you can only have 4 units on the field, of course. So that's going to be kind of a sucky decision to make, but I'm excited, guys. So yeah, I think that's everything I really want to talk about with this CYL. I think in terms of skills and the characters, mainly because of GK, it's one of the most interesting. I mean, every year is interesting, but of course, you know, this far into the game, we just have so many crazy skills. And to some people, these are going to be really good fodder. Marth has decent fodder. I don't know if Distant Pressure probably has a lot of prerequisites, so I don't know if you can inherit Distant Pressure and Spurn or even Tempest at the same time, but Eirika is like really good fodder because she has the new Surging Sparrow, or whatever it's called, Surge Sparrow, and a Menace skill. But people are definitely going to go for the Sparrow. I guess you can get, if Surge Sparrow 2 is a prerequisite, you can probably get Surge Sparrow. Or actually, no, is Surge Sparrow, it's not inheritable. No, it's not. I don't think it is, because it doesn't have a 3 after it. I don't know. I could be just wrong this whole time. Don't quote me on that, but I don't think Surge Sparrow's inheritable from this. But either way, amazing unit. One of the best cabs for sure in the game. Already being better than her brother at being a Lance cab. And Marianne, like I said, I think she's going to be the best and most picked, not best, but most picked free unit out of everyone here, just with the dancing utility. And for Aether Raids people, Gatekeeper is obviously the main choice, because he's going to be, I think he's going to be a meta influential unit. You're going to have to watch out for him and the support capabilities he can give. So yeah, that is pretty much it. That's all my thoughts. And I'd like to thank everybody who did vote for Marth and allowed this to happen. And I'm very grateful that Marth finally has his Brave version, even though it's not the class type I wanted. I just don't want to be so sad at this time, you know. I want to be excited during this time. So, and at least it's not a healer. If he was a healer, I would have been even more bummed out. But I'm glad he's not a healer, so we're good there. And yeah, so let me know what you guys think about the CYL. Who you're gonna free summon. I'm definitely free summoning Marth, just to get the merge, of course. But if I was gonna pick someone else, it'd probably be Marianne, because her dancing utility is amazing. But yeah, so I'm gonna probably make a summoning video for sure. I just have to find time. I'm kind of busy these days, and school's starting soon, so I'm gonna have to find time to upload that video. And that video is gonna be really long, because I have 1,000 orbs plus orbs right now for Marth, and hopefully I can plus 10 him. But that's gonna take a lot of summoning. If you guys have ever summoned with that many orbs, it takes like an hour or a little less than an hour. So look forward to that video. Hopefully I can make that. And thank you guys for watching. Like I said, let me know what you guys think, and peace out.